listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Roman's the new champ. Trick's coat was as long as the ramp. Marcus Smart's got KD on clamps. Lakers in 5. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back. ScoopMania Vegas Part 2. We had to run it back. So good we had to do it twice. But we are here breaking down Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania 42. As always, I'm one half of your hosting team, Micah. On the other end of the call, he is Mr. Slam, the historian of the Scoop Slam Podcast. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah. Great to be back here with you. We survived. We survived another 9-hour marathon. Professional wrestling over the weekend. Hope you got your stopwatch ready, Micah. And let's get into it.
Well, you know, I've got my Slim Jims. I've got my Hulk Hogan Real American documentary loaded up.
Okay. You got your Capital One card in your wallet?
Yeah, I got my Capital One card.
Your Chumba Casino loading up on your phone?
There we go. Let's see. Was there Snickers? I think they had Snickers ads.
Yeah. We got the Saudi.
Oh yeah, Riyadh season.
The Riyadh season. There you go.
Yeah.
Prime was Prime there? I don't think Prime was there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Prime didn't make it this year.
Should have had KSI in the Prime bottle to beat up Speed.
That's long-term storytelling if that happened.
That would be. That's what we do. It's what we do. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we got a long show, so strap in. We're going to go ahead and start off with Night 1 of WrestleMania. This was TKO Presents Wrestle, presented by Slim Jim, Chumba Casino, Riyadh Season, and Snickers. Mania. But they started the show off with everybody's favorite YouTuber, Speed, and the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, versus the Usos and LA Knight.
Yeah.
This one, I expected more. I thought Speed was going to do something crazy during the middle of the match. I expected maybe 12 minutes, but we were on the stream for this one. And I think just it never picked up. Like, it honestly felt like a pre-show match to me.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting Speed to pull out a spectacular maneuver. He did a cool little backflip from the top rope, but like I said, just never. It felt like a Raw tag match, if we're being honest here. Not really Mania worthy. I mean, it was a big deal that Speed made his debut. Maybe there's some time constraints with the ESPN tie-in. Because if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't watch, the first hour of each night was on an ESPN affiliate network. The first night was on ESPN2. So maybe that played a part with the short runtime of these first couple matches. I don't know.
Well, that's what I wondered with it being on ESPN, if maybe that was the reason for some of the ads and the length of the ads. Like, after a while, you know, it was just on ESPN Unlimited. Correct me if I'm wrong. So why are the ad breaks so long?
Remember they had like backstage segments during the show and you never got the only ads you would get throughout the show is to advertise the next pay-per-view or maybe shop WWE. Remember that?
Yeah.
Or when we had video packages for every match. We used to have that.
Or even most of the matches. Like, there should... Okay, if there wasn't a video package for this match, sure. There should have been one for Fatu and Drew. There should have been one for AJ and Becky. There should have been one for Liv and Steph. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, maybe them not getting a video package showed you what they thought of these matches.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like this whole Night 1 just felt shoehorned or just
pre-show.
Like it just never, pre-show never came together. It didn't feel like WrestleMania. And I think it left a bad taste in really everybody's mouth. And I don't think this was a good way to start it off either.
They had a few bright spots and bright matches on Night 1. I'm not going to bury the whole night, but I've never seen a phenomenon like this, Micah, where the fans online were watching their watches, watching their stopwatch more than they were watching the actual show. Did you feel like that? It was bad faith.
I think some of it, yes, but there are people that do that every week. There's people every week that go, oh,
Why?
well, Dynamite and Collision had this much wrestling on it, and WWE had this much.
This wasn't 35 minutes, so get it out of here. It's only 5 minutes slop. Nobody wants to watch that. Like, well, maybe if you actually watch the match and not watch your phone stopwatch, you would have actually had a good time watching it. I'm fine. You know what? I've said it on the podcast before, Micah. I'd rather have a short match that got in, got out, didn't overstay his welcome, than a 35-minute match that's self-indulgent and kick out of everything. And I'll say this right here: the little 5, 6 minute, 7 minute matches they added on to the major matches when they had them, it meant more when those matches went 15, 20, 30 minutes. It just meant so much more. So I didn't have a problem with it for the most part. I know a lot of people did online.
Well, I'm typically with you, right? Especially when I'm watching Raw or SmackDown. Like, I'm sorry, I don't need to see two guys go 25 minutes. Like, respectfully, that's something that bothers me about AEW. And I know some people are into that thing with AEW, and that's fine. Now, again, if it's MJF versus Kenny Omega, yeah, give me 35 minutes. Give me 30. That's fine. But when I'm talking about,
No,
we got,
you can have that. I don't want that.
well, I don't mind it if it's for a main event. But if we're going Speedball versus, I don't know, give me some.
Kevin Knight.
No, I do like Kevin Knight. Well, okay, but yeah, respectfully, I don't need to see a TNT title match on Dynamite go 25 minutes if it's Kevin Knight versus, I don't know, like Dalton Castle. And I like both those guys, but like, come on, man. These two guys are at different levels in the company.
I think if we didn't have as many of those long ads in between the matches, it probably would have been better received as far as the short matches go. But Michael, you go back to the golden age of wrestling. The undercard match is not going 10 plus minutes. It's not. You maybe get 7 minutes. Maybe a really, really good mid card match will get 11 minutes, but it's just never been like that in the history of wrestling. I think this is like a new age mindset for fans out there that if you don't have a 25-minute match, then it's not a good match and it's not memorable and you can't get all your stuff in, you can't do all your moves, you can't kick out of your finisher, so it's not a good match. But that's not the reality of what wrestling is historically. Like matches aren't supposed to be like that. Maybe your big matches here and there can do that, but like get your point across, get in, get out, and let's go to the next match. But the 5 minute ads after each match, that's what really, really upset me personally, more than the 6 minute speed match, you know?
Yeah. Well, again, I think both things can be true. I don't need everybody to go 25. I do think that this show would have benefited from giving, like, Fatu and Drew, I felt was appropriately timed. The 4 women tag match, I felt was appropriately timed. But like AJ and Becky probably should have got 5 to 8 more. Gunther and Seth, I would have been fine with giving them 5 to 10 more. Liv and Steph definitely should have gotten 5 to 10 more just off the heat of the feud. But like at the same time, not everybody needs to go 25 minutes. And I think that's where you get a lot of the tribalist fans that want to say, oh, well, WWE's matches are way too short. And then the other go, well, AEW's matches are too long. There's a happy medium because we always talk about during the AEW shows, they go 5 minutes too long. And a lot of times the fans are kind of up and down and they're down by the time it gets to the end of the match because they were up 5 minutes ago. But now you had a guy get up and hit his finisher, and then the other guy hits his finisher. and now the fans don't know how to feel.
Well,
So
TKO is gonna make their money back from the acquisition of buy-in WWE. So these ads are here to stay. If you would have had a 20, 25-minute matches like you thought that some of these matches deserved, Micah, can you imagine how long this show would have been? Okay, just picture it now.
I
The
mean,
TKO probably came to Triple H and said, "This is how much ads we have during this show, so you have the obligation to make this work in the time frames. But we're gonna get these ads in, whether you like it or not. So I'm sorry, AJ and Becky, you're going 8 minutes tonight, pal. I'm sorry, Steph and Liv, you only got 6 minutes. Make it happen. I'm not cutting my main event short." And I'm not giving Gunther and Seth 8 minutes. It's not happening. So I'll do what I can do, but that's the reality of the TKO WWE experience. Just look at UFC. It's happening
yeah,
UFC already.
it's just crazy because, like, again, I get you for Raw. I get a 7 to 12 minute match for Raw. Like that's actually perfect to me. I give you 15 to 20 for the main event, but like the little Ethan Page and Javon Evans from Raw, I don't need that to go 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But I do at WrestleMania think the guys should get a little bit more time. It is the biggest stage. So I don't know. It just did kind of feel a little disrespectful to me to some of the guys and gals. Like AJ and Becky, they've been there forever. And to get 7 minutes, that just I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. But we can move on to the next match, which was the unsanctioned match. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre.
Why was this an unsanctioned match? Why couldn't we just say no DQ? Did this need to
Because we
be
had a street
unsanctioned?
fight the next night.
But why was what was the point? How's it unsanctioned if they get entrances and there's ads during the match? It seems like it was sanctioned. You advertise, you put ads on a match that's not sanctioned.
I mean, that's a good point, but you know how it is in wrestling. We can't put that much
Okay,
thought on it.
all right, all right. It's I think KO and Sammy did it better when they had their unsanctioned match. You remember that Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, because they had like the lights off, didn't they, or
They
something?
did, yeah. They had the lights off. They had the blood. They actually, I think they had barbed wire in that match as well. But as far as this was a okay no DQ match, but for an unsanctioned match, it was a little tame in my opinion, Micah.
I thought certain spots of it were good, especially the finish. With the moonsault onto the table and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, that was.
Um, I like the toolbox callback as well. I was hoping that this was like the turning point. Well, I say the turning point. We had really just gotten our foot in the door of WrestleMania. But the first match was just kind of eh. And then with this one, I had hope because I felt like this was way better than Damian versus Drew last year. Because yeah, it was maybe lacking in a little violence, but it was at least hard hitting, and it wasn't like 35 minutes where guys just go out there and kill each other. It was 15, they got in and out.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I would have liked a little more. Like if you're gonna call it unsanctioned, like you said, somebody should get some color. Somebody,
somebody needs a
should
someone needs a syringe, huh?
no, no, no. Tax,
No, it's
maybe.
screwdriver. They had a toolbox.
Oh,
Get the
they had the
screwdriver out.
adjustable wrench.
Okay, well there you go. Maybe because it was on ESPN two, maybe that's probably why we didn't get the syringe or the barbed wire or the flaming tables, right, Micah?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did. I think after what was it? Maybe Friday night. One of the nights. I think I watched Edge versus Mick Foley. I think it was Friday night, and then to see this the next night was just leaving a lot to be desired.
yeah, yeah. It was there though. I thought it was okay. It was all right.
Yeah. But following that, we had the 4
Well,
women's tag
let me
match.
wait. You know what? Before we move on, Mike, I got to something. Let me ask you something. You think Drew, his time in the main event scene is officially over? Just with all the new faces they have on the roster now, Micah, I don't think Drew fits into the main event scene anymore.
I think this was a thought when I made my Oba Femi video the other day. And I was talking about, maybe some things that they should do with Oba going into the summer. I really came across the same conclusion. So I'm kind of freaked out a little bit that you asked me that because when I was thinking of a guy that Oba could face and it's a big name, so it would be, it gets a lot of eyeballs on it, a guy that can go with him on the mic, but also take the loss and not really be necessarily hurt by it. And my first thought was Drew McIntyre. But like you said, when you look around, who does Drew beat right now for the title? Like, you're not going to put him over Roman. You're not going to put him over Cody. You're not even going to put him over Penta for the IC. You're not going to put him over Trick for the US. Like, I really just think that Drew at this point in time is like that fighter in the UFC that stays at like the 10 through 8 seed, and
Hmm.
he's never going to be champion. He's past the hill, you know what I mean? But he's that gatekeeper. If you can beat him, you're on your way to a title shot. But if you can't beat Drew, then you're shuffled back into the mid card.
You're saying he's maybe a new Sheamus in that respect?
Yeah, I just think a better Sheamus.
A better Sheamus, yeah. A better promo Sheamus.
Yeah.
Because I gotta be honest, I haven't been impressed a lot with Drew's matches over the last couple of years. Ever since that Punk match in the Hell in a Cell, I haven't like been blown away by any Drew McIntyre match. Am I missing any?
No, I think that match took something from him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. CM Punk just absorbed all his youthful vibrance. I don't know. It feels like I can't even imagine Drew feuding with CM Punk at this point because it just seems like he hasn't beat any top guys or won any feuds. I mean, he beat Cody, but it didn't really seem like he won the feud.
Yeah.
He held the title for a month, and that was just kind of like a charity run, and he was just a bridge to get to the Randy Cody storyline. So
Yeah.
you know what? That's okay. Drew had his time. Guys don't have to be in the main event spot for 10 plus years. Not everybody can be a Roman Reigns. Some people get a 2, 3 year title window and then they're just gatekeeper for the rest of their time. Like maybe like a Alberto Del Rio. He was like that. Sheamus, he was like that. Just guys aren't supposed to dominate the main event scene unless you're a generational talent like a CM Punk or a Roman Reigns, or I even throw in Seth Rollins in there.
Yeah.
Guys like that are few and far between, and not everybody needs to be in the main event scene for 5, 10 plus years. And he's done a lot of great things, but Drew McIntyre has also been on the main roster since 2007.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that are on the come up that are just more exciting to see, and I'm more interested in at the moment. So, shout out Drew. He's put over a lot of guys, but I think his main event window is officially shut.
Yeah, I think honestly, like, another comparison is just kind of Mick Foley. Like, Foley,
Yeah, there you
he
go.
was he was never going to be Stone Cold or The Rock or Triple H or Undertaker even. Now he was in the same echelon as those guys, but he wasn't going to be the world champion over them, except for, once or twice. But that's just where it is. There's nothing wrong with being the gatekeeper. Drew can make a lot of money, generational money,
Yeah,
being the gatekeeper. I think a lot of people will remember his Flash World Title win this year, especially him winning it during the COVID year. That kind of just feels like so
a lifetime
synonymous with
ago.
each other. Yeah, and a lifetime ago. So yeah, I mean, again, I just think if you need somebody to put someone over right now, unfortunately, it's Drew McIntyre. But we'll move on to the women's tag team match. It was the fatal four-way for the women's tag team titles. We had Lash
Oh
Legend
man.
and Nia Jax versus Alexa and Charlotte versus Bailey and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bellas. But I'm sure, as everybody has heard, Nikki Bella was not able to compete, so filling in for her spot was the returning Paige to a massive reaction. Um, this was the headline grabber of the night. I think everybody was excited to see Paige. Obviously, if you're listening to us and you've been following AEW, you know that she was over there for a little bit. I was not particularly impressed with her over there. She got a big reaction coming in, and she did end up winning the Women's World Championship. But here, I think, it's a vanity run. She can play off the history of her former self a little better than with AEW. And I think she has to do a little bit less than she would have had to have done in AEW to get over. But nonetheless, the match was fine. It was more about the moment, and she hit the Rampage to win. And her and Brie Bella are your new women's tag team champions. So, Ryan, what did you think about it?
Well, to start out, I thought Lash and Nia coming out with the Demolition attire was a nice little touch. Considering Demolition winning the Hall of Fame, I thought that gear was pretty cool. But yeah, Paige got her big moment. This is the second year in a row that there's been a surprise tag partner win the tag titles, which is, funny, I guess. And Micah, I don't know if this is a vanity run, as you put it. This might just be a full-time return here. Cause I don't know if you know this, Micah, but Paige ain't that old, man. She debuted before Io Sky, before Bailey, before Charlotte. She debuted before Becky. She debuted before Bianca. And guess how old Paige is, Micah? Guess how old Paige is.
Well, we kind of spoiled this one on our stream, but I believe she's
Okay,
33.
she is 33. Compared to Charlotte, she's 40. Becky Lynch is 39. Bianca Belair is 37. Bailey is 36. And Io Sky is 36. How crazy is that, man? She really can go for another. If that neck can hold up, pause. She can go for another 6 or 7 years.
I don't even think that's PG. No, I see what you're saying, especially the EO comparison. That one's a little crazy. I don't know, just
Yeah,
in her AEW run, to me, nothing
jeez.
blew me away with her in-ring work. However,
What company are we in, pal?
I was about to
We just
say
do
that's not
aura.
the focus here.
Do we wrestle here?
We just do aura
we
and
sell
nostalgia.
we sell Chumba Casino here, pal.
Riyadh season.
Now you know what, man. I can if she's healthy, she can be a stalwart in that division. And your AEW run, she did all the things she wanted to do. She got the big moment in Wembley. I think what she'll be known for most in AEW, at least to that fan base, is when she got Tony Storm to that next level of being I don't even know what you call that character, the timeless, whatever she's doing now. She got Tony Storm to lose her mind, and Tony Storm became the biggest star in that division. But yeah, Paige and WWE just fit like a glove, man. She won a match. She won a match. She won a title in her debut match for WWE in 2014. And now in her comeback to WWE, she wins the tag team title in her first match back. So it writes itself, Micah. It writes itself. Big moment for them. Still bad for Nikki Bella because I know it probably would have been a lot more if she got to win the tag titles with her with her sister, Bella. But as far as surprises go, this came out of nowhere 2 days beforehand, and I thought it was a good moment.
Yeah. I agree. Nothing else to add. I like you said though, I do feel bad for Nikki because that that
Yeah.
was the crowning achievement to win it with her sister. I do kind of wonder what the plan was. Like, would we have gotten like a Paige returning and she beats Becky on her first night? I don't know, but we'll
That
see. It'll come out in the next
what you,
episode of Unreal.
what did you or Total Divas? What did you think of the match, Micah, altogether? Because I didn't. This match happened.
Yeah, I
This match
mean, it was okay. Once again, people were complaining about the times. This is one where I
Oh,
felt
here.
like the time was fine.
You had your
Uh,
stopwatch out, Micah.
yeah, 7 minutes and 43 seconds, Fed chill.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Yeah, it was fine. It did its purpose, and I thought the fans blew when they were supposed to. Because once Paige came in, they went crazy, and then when she hit the rampage, you just kind of had the feeling that it was over. So, it did its purpose.
You said the fans blew. Yeah, I thought the fans blew all night. They stunk, man. Most of the night, Vegas didn't. Maybe they just didn't have mic'd up well, but they made almost no noise throughout the whole night. I hated this Vegas crowd.
I don't think they were good last year either,
No,
if memory
maybe it's
serves.
just the high rollers in Vegas that get these tickets, or the really really wealthy fans that are out there. They're just not the passionate fan base that you would usually get at a WrestleMania. You remember when WrestleMania had international fans? You remember that?
Yeah, I think Kevin Nash even made some post about that, or somebody did. But I think it was Kevin Nash because he was like, "Why would people want to come here right now with the state of things?" And I'm not
And
gonna dive into that, but also that and the ticket prices.
I was about to say ticket prices, the price of everything in Vegas, a plane ticket to get to Vegas, man, it's
Oh God.
astronomical. Yeah.
I remember when we went to Vegas, man, I was looking for something cheap to eat the first night we got there. And
In
we
Vegas?
got something, yeah, we got something brought up to the room uh that was like in our resort hotel, dude. It was like $85 for me and my
Oh
wife.
yeah.
And then
Oh
like the
yeah.
next day I was like, all right, let's, is there a McDonald's nearby? Like we can get DoorDash or something. This was when McDonald's, we took it for granted, ladies and gentlemen. But back then they had the dollar any size drinks. Not in Vegas, pal. Didn't work for them, brother. $4 for your large Coke.
Jeez.
I said, Jesus Christ. It was like $1 back home.
Yeah.
So
Now a lot of
yeah.
those places got like what's it called? Dynamic pricing. So depending on what day you go to a particular thing or what hour you go into that, it's gonna get marked up. Like how how greedy can you get, man? Is this the last stage in capitalism? Are we done for, Micah? Is this it?
Oh, we're cooked. We're on the Cyberpunk 2077 timeline.
Oh
So
man.
enjoy it while you have it, guys. I can't wait to get
Oh god.
chromed up. But after that, we had the Intercontinental Championship, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. And to be completely honest with you, I didn't have
Yeah.
anything from this match. I just
Well,
didn't. I
hold
don't
up now.
know.
Let's back it up. What did you think of the entrances, Micah? You had Becky Lynch and the band. Did you like that?
Well, I do. We talked about it off air. I do like the Becky Lynch theme song. I think it's one of the best right now. Old buddy from the Wonder Years was a step behind and $1 too short on the lip sync, but
Yeah. Yeah. You got busted. What about
but
AJ Lee with her
well, I
entrance?
thought I thought that was a fun, moment for her and her fans. We kind of got a laugh about it on the stream that those young ladies were probably not even alive whenever AJ was making her first run.
I saw the little girls, man. It had me skeptical. Marty Skrull was gonna
Oh
make his
God.
debut. It was so many of them running around.
I think he was actually in Vegas.
I'm
No,
sure he
not even
was.
trying to be funny.
I'm sure.
Not.
Yeah, he was there. Probably had floor seats. Probably right next to Ted DiBiase. But yeah, I thought it.
Please tell me you saw the video of him
We're gonna talk
recording
about it.
himself for 2 minutes.
We're gonna talk about it when we get to the match. But
Oh,
yeah, man. The entrances they were the entrances all together were not. They were okay for night one. I think they did better on night two, especially with Punk and Roman. But yeah, the match it was there. It was stop me if you heard this before, Micah. It was quick, but
yeah.
I didn't think it needed to go that long because let's be honest here, Micah. We knew, or at least the majority of the fan base knew, dang man, night one looked like buns. It's gonna be garbage. And then when it turned out to be garbage, everybody was surprised that it was garbage. Micah, are we just being jaded wrestling fans right now?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I don't know. I think for the past few years, at least night one has had something. Like last year, I remember the undercard to night one being real iffy. Like, no hate, but like one of the matches was the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. Like, come on. But
Come on.
they sent it home with that excellent triple threat Seth, Roman, and Punk. So you at least had something like a good taste in your mouth.
I
This
didn't.
to me just I don't think it ever got off the ground other than Gunther Seth maybe.
And you know what? I prefer this WrestleMania to last year's just because of all the multi-man matches we got on last year's Mania that really bothered me. At least this year we got some one-on-one matches, which I prefer. Last year I think it got a little too multi-man happy. But yeah, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch didn't go long. They didn't do much. Uh, the fans were kind of dead, but Jessica Carr, of course, steps in and gets involved in the match once again. They've been building this up for who got the biggest reaction of the match was Jessica Carr.
Yeah.
Are you just waiting on her to potato Becky? Is that what you're waiting on, like me, Micah?
Oh
No
yeah.
pun intended. I think
Then
Becky's
we can
Irish.
run it back at Backlash.
At Backlash. Yeah, it just feels like every single Becky Lynch match, Jessica Carr is the referee. And they're just building that up slowly. Don't say we don't tell stories here, pal. We tell stories. Long-term
Yeah.
stories.
And hype moments.
Hype moments, too.
Lest you forget. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I thought their match in Elimination Chamber was okay. But I was expecting maybe a second gear here. Like I said, it's Mania. I figured Becky and AJ would kind of go out there. And yeah, I don't know if, like I said, Riyadh made the call and said we need our ad
come on.
spots.
Stop. Come on, man.
Get
They said women's matches?
this off of here.
Tell them to go home.
Yeah. How
You know,
are we supposed to broadcast this in Saudi when you got all these women matches on night one?
this is AJ Lee's first WrestleMania loss.
Really?
The streak is over. Yeah, it was her first Mania loss.
Who all has she faced at Mania? I could not tell you a single Mania match for hers off the top of my head.
Well, her last Mania match was 31, and that was a tag match. And I believe she tagged with Paige against the Bellas. And the Mania before that, WrestleMania 30, she had a 12 women's Vicky Guerrero's Open Invitational Challenge. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Micah, but I'm pretty sure that's what they called it. And she won that. And I think the Mania before that was she was accompanying Dolph Ziggler to the ring, so she didn't have a match. And 2012, she accompanied Daniel Bryan to the ring, so she didn't have a match. But she won the two matches she was in. That's all we gotta know about this stat.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we move on to a man who has pretty much had a losing streak at WrestleMania. Gunther versus Seth
Come on.
Rollins.
What? Losing streak?
He has. He lost the year before to Sami Zayn, and then he
Oh yeah, he
lost to
did.
Jey Uso last year.
Oh yeah, I guess you got a point. Yeah.
But this
Oh,
one was probably my most anticipated of night one. I knew that these two guys could create magic if they had the time to do so. And I felt kind of vindicated. I wish for two things. So I understand why the Braun Breaker inclusion was added. However, I do kind of just wish we got a one-on-one between these two. And I wish they had gotten maybe 5 to 10 more. Let them go 25 to 30 and just have an all-time classic. I think they were on their way to that. But then again, obviously the story we're building throughout the summer is Braun versus Seth at SummerSlam. So it makes sense. But I thought both guys did well, and I was glad that Gunther picked up the win here.
are we really going to stretch that out to SummerSlam?
That's what we do here, pal. We don't give you anything on the weekly
Oh my god,
shows.
Jesus! It's like 4 months away.
Nah,
How are they
maybe
going to do that?
SummerSlam, but they may do it earlier because if you
I
read the
would hope
dirt
so.
sheets,
Oh,
uh, apparently they're trying to run Gunther Roman soon as well. So if we got that on the card, we got to have something. You know what I mean? It sounds like they're trying to run a big event between now and SummerSlam.
maybe the King of the Ring. I think that. Well, I don't know if we're going to do King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, but uh, yeah, I would not want to see that stretched out for 4 more months. But yeah, man, Michael Cole stunk in this match. Did you did you like Michael Cole's commentary throughout this whole weekend? I thought he got exposed.
No, he was horrible all weekend.
Garbage.
Stuttering. Uh,
Getting things
the
wrong.
the clip that we put on TikTok obviously was
Oh no.
an odd slip choice of words. Uh,
Did you think Vince was in his ear? Like, I swear, bro, if you just gave me a transcript of what Michael Cole said throughout that Gunther and Seth Rollins match, I would think Renee Young is back on commentary. It was just, he was horrible. And then when Braun Breaker made his big return, Cole just didn't even, he didn't sell it as a big moment. That was a big surprise.
well,
And it's
not
just
only
like, oh,
that,
that Braun Breaker's here. Oh, okay.
but like
Come
go
on, Cole.
watch the final like spear of the Punk Roman match and just listen to the call. The call is like all time lackluster. Like, can you imagine JR? You know what I mean? It's just
Oh,
I
man.
think Cole is getting to that point, and I think they said this was like his 25th WrestleMania or something. So
And they gas him up like he's the greatest announcer of all time, man. And just because you've been around for 30 years don't make you the greatest. I'm sorry. He wasn't good in 2007, he wasn't good in 97, and he's not good now. He's even worse now. He is worse. You know, there was a point where Triple H took over where he was kind of okay, kind of good, but I don't know what's happened to Michael Cole. Over this last year, he might win my worst commentator at the end of the year, man. He's been that bad.
yeah, WrestleMania was definitely not a good
Yeah,
look at all.
he makes you want to watch the show on mute. I just
Yeah,
don't want to hear from him, and he's the play-by-play guy. Like,
I
this is
actually
complete garbage.
I like Joe Tess a lot more as a play-by-play guy
Oh yeah,
because they do have the
like
same
Jay.
kind of like radio voice cadence, but at least with Joe Tess, I don't know, he tries. He has a little more like gravitas in his voice now.
It's
Cole, I don't know, it just phoned in.
it sounds more natural when Tess does it too, as
Yeah.
opposed to Michael. It sounds like he's rehearsed the lines in the mirror, and you know, it's delivered, but it's just not delivered well, and it just makes you roll your eyes when he says something.
Well,
I don't
Ryan,
know,
one
man.
thing one thing we
Oh
talked
yeah,
about before this mania was Seth kind of needed his classic. You know, we still at this up to this point we didn't have a surefire Seth match that was the Seth Rollins WrestleMania match. And he even called himself like the new Mr. WrestleMania. at the pre-show, which I thought was crazy, considering the catalog. But did you think that this was maybe the one he can hang his hat on, or are we waiting until 43?
Uh, I thought this was a good match. As far as his best one-on-one matches goes at WrestleMania, I'm trying to think. It might be his best one-on-one match. I don't think it's his best match because the triple threat matches he had were really, really good. But it's one-on-one, yeah, we can say that. The ending was it was unpredictable. A lot of people were angry that it didn't have a definitive clean finish. But you needed to protect both guys, and this protects Seth in his first match back, and it also protects Gunther because he got to beat Seth. And you can't have Gunther losing after he just retired. You know, legends of the business over the last 7 or 8 months. So all things involved, I thought it was a pretty good match. Yeah, you said we could have gave him maybe 5, 10 more minutes. Yeah, you could have, but the way it stood right with that 12, 13 minutes they went out there, I thought they did a pretty good job. And this is when WrestleMania officially kicked off for me. Night one is this match. I thought this was
Yeah,
WrestMania worthy.
this was, like you said, the first one that felt like a
Yeah,
WrestleMania match. Like everything
we had to
else
get
just felt pre-show.
we had to get five matches in to get a WrestleMania match.
Yeah. And then after that, I kind of felt like we went back down into the pre-show because I think this next match went 6 minutes. I don't even think it got 7. I literally looked down at my
It
phone
was 6, yeah.
and it
It
felt
was
like the
6 minutes.
match was over.
Well, let me read you a tweet here, Micah, because I was thinking the same thing, but I saw this from Wrestle Purist. I think this was bodyslam.net that actually reported the original piece, but and they're pretty reputable when it comes to these type of stories. Body Slam, they get a lot of stories right nowadays, but Wrestle Purist wrote sources indicate that Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vacure was as short as it was because both were banged up heading into the match, and WWE didn't want either one to get hurt any further. And just by looking at the state of Liv Morgan going into that match, you know what? I can agree. She looked pretty banged up, man. Like she had the concussion, or at least she was in concussion protocol. She had the hematoma and the two black eyes just like 2 weeks before the show. So maybe they just did what they can do, got them in, got them out, and yeah, man. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles when you got two people that are injured going into the match.
Yeah. And it's just like I feel bad because I feel like we're just kind of like, yeah, it happened for a lot of this, but I mean, there's just nothing to break down. You know what I mean? Did you like Liv's dance routine to start the show off, or her
Well,
entrance off? I guess in her new theme song.
I was about to say we got the preview of that entrance on the Raw before WrestleMania, and she did almost the whole routine right there on the stage. It's a catchy tune. I didn't think it was bad. I feel like the performance that they had was longer than the match, but yeah, man, you know what? Stephanie better be lucky Vince wasn't in charge of this, because if Stephanie would have hurt Vince's main attraction 2 weeks before WrestleMania, he might have booked a 3-minute squash match for Stephanie at WrestleMania.
Oh
So she
yeah,
got
you
off
remember
lucky
what
here,
happened
man.
to Jack
She would been in the
Swagger for
doghouse.
getting pot or for getting flagged for pot like a week before Mania.
Oh yeah, like he would have, man, he would laid the hammer down. But yeah, it's just it did need more time, but the circumstances, if they're true, is what you would expect. But it was
Yeah.
there. It was
And
there. New champ.
and I agree with that. It's if that was the reason, then sure. I was just a little blown away because just I felt like, this could be one of the ones that shock you over the weekend. Liv to me has improved. She used to just be a code breaker merchant. Steph is obviously excellent in the ring. But yeah, just I think that's the only explanation that would suffice for that and makes sense. So yeah, Liv Morgan, new women's world heavyweight champion. I'm not sure if I said this earlier either, but Becky is your new women's intercontinental champion. Uh, Following that, we had a short segment where Cena came out to announce the attendance. It's always funny to me because, well, why do we care? But after that, we got the return of Bianca Belair, somebody that we've been clamoring for on the podcast. Please save us, Bianca. We were hoping she would come out of the Rumble, but we did not see her. She comes out here, everybody popped. She got a huge reaction. I think there was like a grown man in like one of the front rows, like air twirling his hair. I kind of got a kick out of that. But hey, real. Uh However, Bianca swerves us all, pal. Says there's one more in attendance. And Bianca announces her and Montez Ford are expecting a child. So congratulations to those two. I thought it was a really cool moment that they let her have here at Mania.
You see those jabronis that like Bleacher Report give this segment like a C plus? Kind of a
What?
miserable person rates a pregnancy announcement as like a C plus. Like, come on, man.
Why did they even rate it?
I don't know. I don't know. Just a chance to say fed bad.
Like, there's literally nothing to, there's no analysis. It's literally just congratulations, Bianca.
Fed bad, Micah. You ever think of that? You know,
Oh,
the
you
evil
got me.
Fed are finally pushing the younger talent, and this is what thanks we get from all these internet marks. I mean, how much younger can we get? We got a zygote, Micah, or they zygotes.
He hasn't even been through the PC. We actually
Hey,
brought him off the indies straight to the main roster, and y'all are upset.
upset.
So yeah, I don't know. However, I will say something real quick. Not hating. I think Bianca is the only pregnant lady I've ever seen with abs.
You know how far along she is too? Just guess.
Uh, she didn't like she was poking out that bad. What, like maybe 3 months?
She's 6 months pregnant, Mike. She got
Holy
abs.
cow.
How crazy is that?
That is crazy. And she did. Like, how do you even have abs with a pregnant belly? That's commendable. That's insane,
That is.
actually.
That is. Yeah. It's gonna be the most athletic baby ever.
Oh yeah. It's
They
gonna
probably
be.
should sign the. You know what? They probably should sign the baby.
Oh yeah. I
Give him
mean,
a
it'll be
contract.
there.
NIL. Can we
Day
give a
one.
yeah? Can we give a fetus a NIL deal?
Can we give it a scholarship?
Let's not give Kirby Smart any ideas.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, don't send him to Georgia. You know what he'll end up with there.
Oh come on, man. What? Moving on.
Come on, man. It's not even football season. I got to throw a couple strays at little brother over there. But regardless, we move on to the main event for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. And we saw the return of the Cody Vader to start this one off.
The Stardust. The Stardust suit got one of the biggest pops of the night.
Probably one of the biggest pops of the weekend.
People love the Stardust, man. I don't know.
It's funny because as much as Cody hates it and wants to run away from it, the people loved it.
Oh yeah, he'll never escape that. That was one of his most memorable gimmicks that he did.
You follow me, friend. Yeah, that's because you're my favorite mid-carder.
All time tweet.
Oh, but
Can we talk about Ted DiBiase sliming his way through the
oh
ringside
god,
area? Looking like he was about to hit the ring, man. lay out the whole thing, Micah, just in case somebody doesn't know what we're talking about here.
I don't even really know where to start. The only video I saw was one where he looks like the guy that would go into like a pro MAGA comment section or like
Somebody said
say a racial slur because he had the sunglasses on and he was
he did.
like recording himself with the promo package for Cody Randy playing behind him. No commentary for like 3 minutes, just deadpan stare into the camera.
there was another angle of him at the floor level, and he was like right in front of the security guard, and it just looked like like the old high school quarterback right there on the field, just reminiscing about the old times. It was sad. Somebody say like JBL out there. He was JBL Maxon. he did kind of look like JBL, man. I don't know what Ted hadn't aged well in his 10 years away from WWE. But just imagine how many Mississippi families he had to scam to get those tickets to WrestleMania.
Well, evidently he's not scamming enough because apparently he owes Randy Orton like $25,000.
What a carny. And then he shows up too. Look like he's gonna hit the ring. Bro just wanted the attention.
Yeah. And then I think it's really messed up. It really is because he scammed all these family out of money. However, it is kind of ironic that he's the $1 million man. So
how much of a carny you gotta be, man? You steal from the poor state and then you show up at one of the most expensive tickets you can buy in the whole entire, I don't know, in the whole entire US at the time, WrestleMania.
just cue his dad's laugh. And then did you see Ted DiBiase Sr. was like, I don't owe you anything, Randy Orton. And then Randy retweeted it and was like, yeah, the junior does.
They didn't invite him backstage, man.
Would they?
Well, yeah. This seems so odd.
It's just
like, can you imagine buying your WrestleMania tickets and Ted DiBiase's just casually sitting right beside you?
Yeah.
Just not saying anything, sunglasses on.
Just staring. A single tear drops from the bottom of the sunglasses.
Why was he trying to be incognito? We know who you are.
Yeah. Bro didn't do nothing but step back.
Just menacingly. He looking like TKO, just give me the word.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Pat, give me the signal. I got you.
Nah, sit this one out, big bro. Sit this one out.
Speaking of jumping in when your name is called, we started this one off with a brawl. Pat McAfee and Randy jump Cody, and then randomly Jelly Roll comes in to turn the tables. They take Pat McAfee out of the match early in a brawl, and all this happens before the bell even rings.
How random is that statement? Pat McAfee and Randy attack Cody. And somehow Jelly Roll gets involved. Like, can you imagine
the announce table?
Yeah, can you imagine like just saying that 2 years ago? Like Jelly Roll, Pat McAfee, main event of WrestleMania.
Now, well, let me ask you this: 2 years ago, would I have believed it? No. After Travis Scott last year at WrestleMania, I still probably wouldn't believe it because that was such a train wreck, and certainly we wouldn't do it twice.
Well, who's doing it? Who's doing it next year?
Let me see.
We finally get Post Malone. No, we're getting Post Malone, right?
Okay.
That has to be that has to be like the next progression of this, right?
Can we get Erica on the line? You seen the entrance?
Wait a minute. Hold up now.
Drewski?
Okay. All right. I'm surprised. He was at 40, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Can we get him like Mankind?
Is Drewski gonna be
Love?
Is Drewski on Cody's side or is Drewski on? I don't know. CM Punk. I don't know who can be the main event next year.
I don't know. I think we'd have to get him on Cody's side.
Let's just put him in the New Day.
Oh,
he just fits in the New Day, right, Mike?
It just makes sense.
I don't know what it is.
Business coming up.
I don't know what it is. It just seems to fit right there.
Well, as far as the match goes, man, we called it months ago whenever this got announced. It's the 3-star General and Blandy Orton. You knew what you were going to get. It was here.
Blandy did sell like he was going to the electric chair. Like he was selling his off in this match.
Well, and I think he actually picked Cody up once or twice.
Oh wow. So he went all out.
Yeah.
He poured his heart and soul into this.
It's just one thing about Randy, man. He is going to give you a stinker at WrestleMania. And I think he tried. Like, we got some color. There were some elements of, what could have been a good match. But then we get Pat running back down later as the ref. And then the whole finish to this thing was
What?
so
Why?
bad.
Why didn't Pat count a little faster? Why did he slow count Randy?
Maybe that's why Randy RKO'd him.
I can't blame him. You're the special guest referee for the moment. You count a little fast, pal. Count faster.
Yeah, I don't even
We got some.
know. How do you
We
pitch
got.
this?
That is a very good question. I don't know. Chat GPT. Hey, you know what? At least we got color. Got color in this match. The only matches, if we had to pick one match that needed color throughout the whole show, it was this one, and they went there. And all things considered, this was a brutal match, especially because of the aftermath. But yeah, Cody teasing the. I wouldn't even call this teasing because he's been doing the same layout to all his big matches except the one last year when he tried to be the the hero that does the right thing. It cost him the title last year. This year he didn't do that. He took the shortcuts. Did he give Randy a low blow? Am I mistaken that Micah? That happened, didn't it?
I remember Punk did, but so much of this match feels like a blur, to be completely honest with you.
Okay, well he went down the dark path that Stephanie McMahon warned him about on that MSG Raw show, and said that he being Cody had to stoop to Randy's level to beat Randy, and that's exactly what he did here. So I know it's not the match that a lot of people wanted, but it's the story they were telling throughout this whole build. And yeah, the match was there, it happened. Wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't an absolute all-time stinker like John Cena and Cody Rhodes was the year before.
No, it wasn't that bad, but I felt so after
You felt
like
whelmed. You felt very whelmed.
yeah, I just didn't know what to even think because then Randy turns on Pat, but Cody gets the win still. And then Randy stands tall because he punts Cody at the end. And it just felt like I wasted my time. Like, I don't know. The whole night one felt like I wasted my time.
You're expecting something big to happen at the end of the match, right? Because I was expecting somebody else to come out.
Yeah, I mean, once Randy stands tall, you would think Cody has some type of friends or
Well, Ted DiBiase was there. Kind of a bum friend is he?
just waiting for his cue.
Just give me the word, Cody.
I
He
don't
needed you, Ted.
I just don't even know what it might be better than the Cena match, but it's not by much.
Oh, it's definitely better than that Cena match. Are you kidding me? Bro, Cena couldn't move. Cena was horrible his last year.
I mean, yeah,
Horrible.
that's the thing. Like, okay, so between the bell actually ringing and before Pat runs out, we get the ref bump. It was fine. Like again, it's 3 stars. That's what we knew we were gonna get. That's what we signed up for. But
Yeah.
like with the aftermath, I don't. I felt so deflated after night one. It just felt disgusting. The whole show, I felt like I wasted 4 hours. It didn't feel like WrestleMania. It felt like Night of Champions.
That's actually not a bad comparison. Night one was probably one of the weakest nights of WrestleMania since they went to this 2-night format. And I'm pretty sure we said that last year too. But yeah, the main event wasn't an all-time stinker like we got at last year's WrestleMania, but it wasn't something that's going to stand the test of time like what we got on night 2 of WrestleMania. And it wasn't even something that's going to be like borderline match of the year at the end of the year. It's not even going to be that. It's just one of the matches in WrestleMania history, if that makes any sense. It just happened.
I think
It
I could
happened
throw it
and it
in
has
for worst match.
it happened. I don't think it's not a bad like technical match. I think the booking was questionable throughout the match. But as far as like a actual in ring standpoint, Micah, I don't think this was a bad match.
I don't know. I'd have to go rewatch it, and then that's probably the only time I'll ever rewatch it, and I'd probably be the only person that would ever
You
go
ain't got to
rewatch
rewatch
it.
that. You ain't got to rewatch
I don't know. I think that may be the only list it makes by the end of the year. But we'll save our.
You think it's gonna make worst match of the year? Really? We've seen some bad matches, man.
This year, what else would be? I remember, was it the women's chamber or the men's chamber? One of them was rough.
We talking about WWE matches?
Or, I mean, just any. Those are just the ones off the
Well,
top
I
of my
can
head.
count multiple AEW matches, man, that I did not care for at all. This wasn't a bad like in ring wrestling match. It's just the booking was
Yeah, but I mean,
unreasonable.
that's
The
to
jelly
me,
roll.
that's what matters. Like the beginning and end of this match were so bad that it outweighs whatever they did in the middle.
So you didn't like the story they told with Randy and Cody as far as Cody stooping down to Randy's level? You didn't like that story?
I mean, I did. It couldn't save.
It couldn't
It
say
couldn't
jelly
save
roll.
the rest of it.
It couldn't say jelly roll
It couldn't be the
Ted,
Ozempic for Jelly Roll.
and Ted DiBiase ready to hit the ring. It couldn't save it.
Mean mugging the ring. It should be me. Oh, but we'll save our final predictions and everything once we get through night
It should
2.
have been me that hit.
It should have been me.
You know what? If Ted would have hit the ring, man, that would have made up for a lot of the questionable booking throughout this whole feud.
Would have popped more for that than freaking Jelly Roll, if I'm being completely honest, even if he was JBL maxing. But, ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be a TKO sponsored WrestleMania review show if there wasn't an ad spot breaking up nights of WrestleMania. So I do apologize, but there's no better time. It's time for us to talk about our new sponsor, NordVPN. There is no better VPN out there, and there's no reason for you to be browsing the internet without protection. NordVPN provides fast and secure streaming, whether you're at home or traveling. We all know there's 18 million services that the WWE trademark is on now. But with NordVPN, you can enjoy them and all of your paid subscriptions like you're in your home country if you're going abroad. Not only that, using NordVPN secures online traffic through encryption, making it hard for anybody to get your information without your permission. And it's conveniently available on all major operating systems, in even your smart TVs and your routers. So use that to your advantage. All you have to do is click the link in the description of this episode, and the first link at the top of that will take you straight to Nord's VPN website, and so you can take security over your life and take it not only for me, but as somebody that's been a long time subscriber of NordVPN, Ryan.
Yeah, Micah, to all our listeners out there, there's no other service that I would recommend more if you're a WWE fan than NordVPN. You want to get all your wrestling in one place. You go to NordVPN, you boot up Netflix, and boom, you got NXT, you got the pay-per-views, you got the PLEs, you got anything you could want WWE related. It's all right there. Netflix and all that's possible through NordVPN. And if we told you anything on this podcast, we're not going to steer you wrong. We call a spade here. NordVPN is top tier, and we could not recommend it more to our listeners. And I'm proud that we're being sponsored by NordVPN, Micah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Somebody we actually use in like our daily lives. So
Yeah.
that's always nice because we're not like these other podcasts just telling you, "Oh, guys, you got to try this," and then they never actually use it. So we're speaking from the heart here, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, click the link in the description of this episode. It'll be the first link on our link tree. Go there, sign up, get security over your life. But ad spot's over, pal. Time for our entrance fest. We got WrestleMania Night 2 presented by Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And for this right here, we opened up with what, for my money, is the true main event of the weekend. Nah, I'm just kidding. The Night 2 main event was actually very good, but I was most interested to see what was going to happen here. We got the ruler, Oba Femi, versus the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. So initially, insane reaction for Oba. He got the opening entrance here. The fans were with him, and I mean, immediately when you just hear that "ooh" from his first, the first kind of note of his entrance, everybody was on notice. Uh, the Oba chants were the entire way down the ramp, and it was a very long ramp. He looked like $1,000,000. I love the red gear here, and yeah, I thought, man, what a star. There's no way this guy's not in the main event next year.
And it tells you all you need to know about how the company sees him. He gets the first entrance on the first WrestleMania on ESPN proper. The first guy you see come out there is Oba Femi. That tells you all you need to know about how WWE sees Oba Femi.
And then we got Brock Lesnar coming out. The fans, you could just feel the energy, like just in the
Big fight
air.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, when these two got in the ring and finally faced off across the ring from each other, it was just magic. And I get, it was 5 minutes,
Oh
but
God. Yeah,
I
just
don't.
watch out. Here you go.
No, 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 no. I'm defending it here. I kid you not. This right here is a 5-star match. And some of y'all are going to be surprised and think that that's just completely outlandish. But listen, a 5-star match means that it did everything that it needed to do. I would go back and rewatch this at any point in time, and there's not a single thing that I would change about it. And that's this match for me. This was absolutely perfect to a T. I thought Oba Femi looked like a freaking $1,000,000 man coming out of this. There's no way you don't make money with that guy. And just what a moment for him to beat Brock Lesnar in that fashion. He ate the F5 and he didn't just pop right back up. He stumbled, he got up, hit Brock with 2 finishers and sent him packing. I thought this was masterful. And yeah, I will go back and watch this.
Brock's selling here was top tier, man. Like, I know I've said this on the pod before, but maybe the most underrated and best seller in the history of the business is Brock Lesnar. When he wants to make a guy look like $1,000,000, like he made Oba look here, he's gonna sell like he's going to the electric chair. He put over. Shout out to Brock, man. If this is it for Brock, which the end kind of they said it without actually saying that this is it for him. If this is the end, what a run, what a career, and I, he went out the way you're supposed to go out, man, on your back, putting over a younger star. He actually put over the next beast on his way out, which is it's crazy to see, man. Because I grew up. Brock was that guy, and he'd been that guy for 20 plus years, and all the equity that Brock got from beating Undertaker, beating the streak at WrestleMania, or squashing John Cena at SummerSlam with 16 German suplexes, all the equity he got in that, he just transferred all that over to Oba Femi. And there's not a better guy you could have done that with. So yeah, shout out them, man. They didn't go long, did everything they needed to do, and you booked this out, Micah, months and months beforehand. You called all this. You said, "Hey, Oba, Brock, WrestleMania, Oba squashes Brock," and I rolled my eyes at it, but when it actually happened, it was a great WrestleMania moment when it did happen.
And the funny thing is, I think the first encounter, whenever Oba and him uh like met on Raw, or Oba kind of attacked him, I'm pretty sure I almost booked it blow for blow.
Yeah, and you remember when everybody melt down when Brock eliminated Oba in the Rumble?
Yeah. Now look, they got egg on their face.
Oh, you guys are gonna turn on Oba in 6 months, just like you turned on Cody.
Not me. Not me.
What?
I'll be here.
What? Why didn't the evil Fed make Oba and Brock go 20 minutes, Micah?
Don't need to. You want your 5-star classics?
What?
You
Why
you
is
want your 20-minute bangers? Not me.
you don't get that over here, pal? We get in. We don't get paid by the hour over here.
That's right.
Micah, why didn't Oba pay his dues by losing to Penta and Dragon Lee to see if he could play ball? Why didn't he do that?
Need to smash them over. Give them the world title.
You know, that's the mindset of a lot of the sickos, man. AEW, when they get like a big new signing, they want to see if they can play ball by losing. Look, that's what they thought when Ciampa made his debut, man, and countless other people.
Yeah. And now you see what it does to them long term. But
Yeah,
here, you know,
you see what happens when you book a guy like a top guy right out the gate. People actually treat them like a top guy. You know, who would have thought?
interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, I think the moment is just incredible, like you said. Um Also notice how everybody complains Cena lost to Gunther, right? Oh, how could they do that? Brock looks up at the lights, like you said, like you're supposed to do, and that's perfectly fine. Now I get it, man. There's a lot of extracurricular things to talk about with Brock. And I'm not saying that people are wrong for bringing that stuff up. It's gross. It's inexcusable, 100%. However, in terms of the in-ring TV character of Brock Lesnar, I don't think there's ever been a force like that before. So
There's
to
never been
see,
a more protected person on the roster more than Brock Lesnar.
no, and so to see him kind of call it in a way that I think, like you said, transfers all that equity to another guy. For that alone, I'll give him congratulations. And congratulations on retirement if it is the end of his career. I assume Brock goes back to the ranch and just lives a quiet, private life after this. But yeah, man, I'm so elated for Obafemi, and I'm so excited to see what the future has for him. He's my number 2 right now under Punk. So it's just really rewarding, you know what I mean, to like buy into the stock and have it pay off.
And he's that guy, man. A lot of people thought it was gonna be Braun Breaker. Before that, people thought it was gonna be Austin Theory. But you know what? They never had Brock lose and to those guys. They saved it all for Obafemi, and I think it was a smart move to do that. He's the guy you building the company around for the next 10 years. He's
Yeah.
that guy. And you know what? I know a lot of people been fantasy booking, but there's no other way you can do this. I don't care if it's predictable. He wins King of the Ring. He goes to SummerSlam. He beats Roman Reigns. That's the way it has to be. That's the way it should be. And shout out to WWE because night 2, man, we got a glimpse into what the future of the company is going to be. And the future
Yeah.
is looking bright with Oba, Trick, Javon. We got some debuts on Monday. The future is bright, man, for WWE, and they are phasing out a lot of these older guys, and that's what people like me and Micah have been banging our heads on the table saying, please get younger, please cycle some younger guys in this main event scene. And it seems like that's what they're going to do. And I'm excited about the crop that they have down there.
Yeah. And not only that, but man, I need everybody who is talking about, he's too young to just go ahead and put the world title on him. Get out of here, man. Be quiet. Stay I'm good off. Listen, I love CM Punk. I like Roman Reigns. I'm good off the 40-year-olds. I want something new. I'm sick of seeing the people that I've watched for 20 years now be the world champion. Respectfully, those guys got their place. But like we said, it's time for the Drew McIntyres to step out of light. It's time for the Oba Femis to step in. And so that's where we're at. Like you said, I think this was WrestleMania 42, night 2 was the first showing of that. And this first match right here just put their best foot forward for the rest of the night. So we'll move on to the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, 6-way ladder match. We had Penta, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, Rusev, and JD McDonough.
This was great. This is great stuff right here.
It's probably one of the best ladder matches I've seen in a long time on a WWE show, or really any show with a
wait a minute.
element.
Hold up now. Since last year when they had that tag team ladder match.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But ladder matches are hard to do. We talked about it on the prediction show. It's kind of a played out concept. You've kind of seen everything before. But in this, I didn't feel like it was a bunch of guys setting up the ladder to do their spot. I felt like it was a lot of guys trying to get to that championship. And it was quick. It was 15 minutes. There was constant motion. It wasn't one guy in the middle of the ring slowly climbing the ladder. Like if there was a guy climbing the ladder, there was a guy tailing him. And I thought this was excellent. To shout out a few spots, I thought Ray and Javon were the MVPs of this whole thing, though Penta I thought was also great. Penta with the Canadian Destroyer on the ladder. Javon had a couple crazy spots. The cutter at the end was a little hokey, but just getting that air was insane. Rey Mysterio doing the what do you call it? The West Coast Pop, I think it is, to Rusev through the ladder. This was excellent, man. And I told you on the predictions as well, JD McDonough was going to do something to kill himself, and he nearly did. But
he always does.
And I thought Penta was a good winner here. Would I have liked Javon to win 100%? But if I had to pick a secondary, it was going to be Penta. I think he's a big star right now, and yeah, I thought this was great.
Yeah, man, the only negative I have about this match is the fact that every luchador had to wear red. I don't know if that was an edict from, TKO, but I can go with guys. Maybe some guys need to call each other before the event and ask, hey, brother, what are you wearing? I like, did we have to have everybody wearing red in this match, Micah? Does it bother you like it bothered me? Am I nitpicking, Micah?
Well, I didn't really pick up on it till you brought it to my eye, but I do understand your point because it's the same way with black is kind of the base color.
Everybody wears black on the TV show.
Yeah, so you can't say that so much, but man, you can't have two guys in blue going against each other. You can't have two guys wearing green going against each other. Like they got to be clashing. It's the same way in the UFC, So it's just. I do understand your point.
Yeah.
Though I thought Ray's attire was cool. I'm not a big Deadpool guy, but
Ray came out to the old school entrance that he used to have, where he gets popped up onto the stage, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. We talk about all the old guys stepping aside, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Randy like he was 100 years old wrestling Cody, John Cena retiring. Yet Rey Mysterio's there doing the West Coast pop against on Rusev, and it looks like he can go another 5 years. I don't know how he does it, but shout out Ray, man. He's 105 years old. He's still doing it. And yeah, man, I thought one of the best WrestleMania ladder matches they've done since
Can't even remember.
Money in the Bank.
31?
The Money in the Bank match they had. I think this was better than 31. Maybe one of the Money in the Bank matches they did back in the day, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And they found ways to get innovative, which is very hard to do with modern day ladder matches. The hokiness of the Rusev Javon Cutter spot was a little much, but Penta retained, which is pretty rare in a ladder match to retain your title. In a multi-man ladder match at that. But yeah, Penta retained, big moment for him. He missed out on WrestleMania last year. I don't know if you remember this, Mike. He got hurt right before the show last year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Ray
this was a big
too,
moment.
didn't he?
I think Ray did as well, yeah. And then they subbed Penta in to wrestle Chad Gable last year at Mania.
Or you mean Phoenix?
Phoenix, yeah, Penta. Yeah, Phoenix wrestled Chad Gable last year at WrestleMania. But yeah, I'm sure it was a big moment for Penta finally getting his WrestleMania moment and retaining on a big stage. Man, night one in comparison, man, was just so it's like a warm up. Just it was a pre-show compared to this was real WrestleMania right here. Night two.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
And
It was on ESPN too.
Yep. So already you're bringing in guys like Penta, Javon, making them household names, and it's crazy because in 2 matches I was like, man, we're off to a great start. Can we please keep it going? And I felt like maybe right here was when it lulled a little bit, but it was still better than WrestleMania Night 1. For the United States Championship, we had Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams with Lil Yachty. Trick.
People had the stopwatch out for this one again, Mike. I don't know if you saw the comments.
It could have got 5, but I was fine with what happened.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it was more about the moment of Trick winning the belt. I thought the match was fine, but I was not expecting to be blown away. First off, I got to convict the Las Vegas crowd once again because
oh yeah, they stunk.
The rhythm. We got to get the rhythm down, guys. We had it for the Oba entrance, but the whoop that Trick was not hitting in Allegiant Stadium.
It was kind of tepid too. They didn't really react as well as I thought they would for Trick. Maybe it's the fact that he goes out there before his actual entrance to stand on that little platform, he being Trick. Maybe that kills his pop a little bit. Maybe they need to do something about that. I don't think that little spin thing that he does is necessary, needed. But yeah, man, Las Vegas stunk.
Yeah. And Lil Yachty came out doing his
oh, come on
his
now.
best to do the Coachella, I think it was Coachella entrance.
Yeah. He did it. No, he was hitting a little Shawn Michaels thing.
He did it, but the fans.
Oh well, yeah.
It's not the same audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, not only that, I was just shocked, like you said, with the Trick reaction. Maybe some of it, I wanna give a scapegoat. Maybe some of it was just because they had just seen the ladder match and the Oba match. So this was kind of the natural cool down.
And it's the 8th time they saw the Hulk Hogan documentary ad.
Real American.
That looks interesting. I'll watch that.
I mean, I'm a sucker for any wrestling documentary, so I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
But during the match, Sami hit a big brain buster on Trick on the apron. I thought that was kind of crazy. Probably the most eye-catching spot of the whole match. Just because, that's Trick's a big old guy. So to see Sami do that, and it looked pretty rough, but ultimately Trick picks up the win. A little slower match than I thought, but nonetheless, a big moment for Trick to be the mid-card champion coming out of WrestleMania.
they booed everything Sami Zayn did in this match too.
Oh yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that goes because I haven't been as emotionally invested in Sammy in the last couple months as a babyface, but now him being a very confused heel of like, why are you guys booing me? I did nothing wrong. That has some teeth to it. That has some that'll have some intriguing television on the horizon.
And honestly, I'm ready for Sammy to prove these people wrong because people forget Sammy is actually like that as a storyteller and as a heel. And
Yeah.
so I'm very interested, like you said, to see what Sammy does next. I saw an interview where Trick, they asked him if he was going to keep the open challenge going, and he said no because when Trick fights, it's a special event. Do you like that? And where do you see Trick going with the U.S. Championship next?
Absolutely. I hate the open challenge concept in wrestling. It's been overdone over the last 10 years. The I think it jumped the shark when Cena was doing it back in 2015 or 2016 when he started doing that. He had the John Cena US Open Challenge. That was okay, but when you got every United States champion now doing the Open Challenge gimmick and not having an actual feud, and they're just getting to the next surprise opponent, gonna have a 10-minute banger on TV. I just don't like that. I rather them tell a story. It just seems lazy to me. And that's not just a WWE thing. They do that in AEW too with the open challenge concept. And I've never been a fan of that, Mike. Maybe when it was
Well,
fresh and new, it was a good idea, but now it's jumped the shark. That concept as a whole needs to take a backseat.
I mean, I I commend your bravery for admitting that.
I hate it.
I I think that it can be done well. I've actually enjoyed it over the past couple weeks. I think one of the bright spots of SmackDown has been the United States Open Challenge, but it doesn't work for everybody. Respectfully, I think in Ilya and a Carmelo and a Sammy, that kind of thing works for. I don't
Yeah,
really
but
see it as much for Trick.
no, but the thing is, Michael, when they did that, it I don't know, it gave like the writing team an excuse to not write them any storylines.
Yeah,
And they
I
just
think
relied on the surprise entrance and the surprise match every single Friday or every single Monday.
I think that's true. I think both things can be true. If you're gonna have an open challenge, you still should involve the champion in some type of story because technically, if it is an open challenge, the same guy that he beat last week can challenge again if you want to tell a story like that. Uh, but with the US and Intercontinental, I don't know that the story works as well as if, for instance, you had a TV title. A TV title makes a little more
Yeah,
sense because you can be like, well, the TV title is defended on TV exclusively.
yeah.
I've always liked that aspect of it, but with the US and the Intercontinental, I think it depends on the holder. So I'm good with Trick, doing away with it for now. Tell me some stories. Is there somebody you maybe think is next in line for him to feud with?
With the US title, um, I don't think they go to a Royce Keys this early. I can see like a maybe I hate to say this, but maybe a Matt Cardona, like a little mini feud for like a month or two. Maybe get him a match on Backlash. At Backlash.
At
Maybe
Backlash.
something like that. Is there somebody from Florida that we're not thinking of that could have like a
Uh,
little homecoming?
well, the only problem with that is like if you're gonna call Ricky up, and that's the only other guy I see,
Oh
because they
no,
called up
man.
Joe and they called up Ethan Page. I think Ricky's the only one left that I really see that on the horizon. But the problem is, I don't want to put Ricky and Trick against each other this early.
Maybe we can get a Tomatonga. You think that'd be something? He get the split from Solo, and then he fused with Trick Williams. You think that's something?
Maybe so. Is he babyface?
He's
I'm
been
assuming.
teasing. He's been teasing split away from Solo, as a babyface for a couple months now.
I could see it, and you could kind of tell an interesting story there with maybe him falling short of beating Trick, and then maybe Solo kind of rubs it in his face as like a,
Yeah,
I told you so type deal, like a mini
yeah,
feud.
yeah. I would like that. Yeah.
But we'll move on to a feud that is going to be ongoing in a street fight that was added on in the pre-show.
Hey, wait a minute. Pause. Hold up now. No, street fight can't be had unless you have jeans, and none of these guys had jeans on. So this automatically gets a letter grade gets taken off for me.
That's that's something we've always maintained here on the podcast. That's one thing when like I said, I was watching Edge and McFoley. I was actually showing my wife that Friday before WrestleMania, and we were watching it, and I was like, "Yeah, I at least respect that Edge had his jeans on for this one." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, well, they always have to have jeans on." And she thought I was like pulling her, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
Pulling their leg.
yeah, she thought I was pulling her leg about it, and I was like, "No, like seriously, you gotta have pants, you gotta have jeans on." So I don't know.
Dude,
That's just a
it's an
little
old
allure.
it's yeah, it's an old wrestling trope where it's come as you are to the fight, and usually guys got the jeans, the belt buckle, got their wrist taped up. It's
Boots.
just the boots, cowboy boots. It's just that's an old wrestling trope. You gotta have your jeans, pal. It's gotta be done, and no
Well,
jeans. So we're taking off a point here.
we didn't have jeans, but we did have the face paint. The return of the demon. He got a big reaction here.
He did.
Man, I know we talked about it, and I know everybody's like, "Well, but if you do the demon every week, he loses." Yeah, but he's got so much aura when he comes out as the demon. Like
Yeah,
it's just so much different when you see that compared to just like regular Finn Balor.
regular fan. When he paints his face up, paints his body up, that's when I see, oh, okay, maybe he is Derrick Rose of the WWE. Okay, I'm seeing it. But then when he just comes out as, regular Finn with the baggy pants on and, taking the pin every week, it just you lose me at that. But if he can paint himself up, get him get him somebody that he can take on the road with him. It can't be that tough.
Yeah. Well, they
Just
got
tell him to get to
money.
the building. Yeah, tell him to get to the building a little early. You
Matter of
work
fact,
twice a week, Finn. Come on, man.
the way to actually get this done is to put a sponsorship in the face paint, and then they'll make him
Capital
do
One.
it.
Is it Capital One?
The Capital One demon.
Okay.
He comes to run up your credit card utilization.
Don't give me any
Oh,
ideas. They might do that.
yeah.
This is
I might
the
get a phone call later. Hey,
oh man.
you got any more of those? Oh,
No,
but
this is the first time Finn's won a feud in how long? When's
oh
the last time Finn
god,
won a feud?
or just a singles match.
When's the last time Finn won a feud though?
He lost to Edge. He lost to Damian.
Lost to Punk,
Lost to Punk.
lost to
I mean,
Roman. Remember when the top rope collapsed on him?
yeah. I mean, Jesus, are we gonna
I
have to
don't
go back
know.
to NXT?
We might have to. 2019 when he was the NXT champion.
Yeah. Or
That's
did he
probably the
come
last time.
back from NXT then and beat like Bobby Lashley? Or was that before?
I thought Aleister Black did that.
You
No,
know
Finn
better than
did
me.
squash. No, no, wait. Finn did squash Bobby Lashley.
But was that a feud or did he just come back?
I think he just came back. I don't think that was a feud.
No.
I don't know.
Regardless, it's been
Yeah,
so long we can't remember.
we don't remember. Yeah,
Um,
we got to go to the very prestigious cage match site, Micah.
there
I
we
know how much
go.
you love cage match.
As far as the match goes, I don't think this needed to be a street fight. This slowed down a lot
When did
in the
this become
back
a street
end.
fight?
I think Pierce made it official on the pre-show.
I was
Uh,
confused.
it was fine for what it was, man. But like, I think honestly, I could have had the demon beat him in like 5 minutes and been okay with that.
Now Dom, he ate a pretty good finisher too at the end there.
Oh yeah, through the table.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was kind of like because of the table, Finn couldn't slip off of him. So even while they went through it and he was on the ground, he was just like mashing on like the bottom of his stomach, and I was like, "Oh
Yeah,
man!"
yeah.
Added extra impact.
It was a fine match for what it was, man. It was a maybe the feud did need a street fight element to the end if this is the end and they've been building this story for a good 2 years. Like how long have they been building that Finn Dom turmoil? For a long
Oh,
time.
well, did you watch
So
Raw?
yeah, they had no mention of Finn, right? I think he had a
Oh
promo package.
no, he had a match.
Did he? Oh no, he faced
Yeah,
JD. He
yeah,
faced JD.
and
Got it.
Dom interrupted.
Oh, did he? I zipped
You
past that one.
skipped.
I did.
Yeah,
I
the
zipped.
feud's still going.
No.
Oh yeah,
Well,
at
scratch everything I
Backlash.
just scratch everything I just said. Then is it gonna be the demon again?
I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, I
I
don't.
doubt it.
Never mind. Let's we're moving on. Finn won.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
the Demon won. For the WWE Women's Championship, we've got Jade Cargill versus Rhea
Wait a minute.
Ripley.
Hold up now. This actually was pretty good.
I listen. I wrote at the top of this, and we'll get to your entrance dilemma in a minute because I know that bothered you. The Jade slander has to stop. Like, and I have noticed this because ever since maybe like she got out of the Tiffany feud, right? There has been less see-through spots. There's been less botches getting shared online. And then her and Rhea came out here and had the best women's match of the entire weekend. Probably top 3, top 4 match of the
This is
entire weekend.
Jade's best match
Yeah.
ever.
And it's probably one of Rhea's.
They had good chemistry, man. I was skeptical.
Maybe not on the mic, but in the ring, it came together. I thought this
Yeah.
was a good, there's a lot of good spots here. Jade hit the one wing angel, which all the sickos got real pissed off about till the god of professional wrestling came down and laid some doctrine on them that anyone using his move is a cool
How how
notion.
how how stupid is it that he had to actually make a post to tell people to calm down just by using his move? Like people were really upset about that.
Had to call off the
Oh,
dogs.
it's disrespectful for WWE to let a greenhorn like Shade use the one winged angel and have Rhea kick out of it. Like the Young Bucks don't use 3 tombstones in every match and the super kick and MJF uses the pile driver 3 or 4 times in a match. It's just
Styles Clash.
Styles Clash from Will Ospreay. He'll do that off the second rope and somebody will kick out. That's not disrespectful, but somebody using a one winged angel is disrespectful to Kenny. Who Kenny ever be? Who cares?
And not only that, in terms of it being like you said, a greenhorn,
Protected
bro. Jade.
protected in a different organization too.
Well, not only that, but Jade was in AEW. I'm sure Kenny has helped train her at some point in time. Like that was probably like an. I'm sure that was a nod to where she's been and where she's gotten now, and probably between her and Kenny, like a thank you, for what you did for me, and now I'm here because of what you did. So for
She's
people,
meant
man, these people don't have real lives.
they don't, and she's mentioned in interviews that Kenny Omega had a hand in, training her and rolling around in the ring before shows, helping her out. So, and you know what? That wasn't even the one winged angel. That was the sandstorm. So it's different. It's different, pal. And what? Yeah, you know what? The thing is, when moves like that from famous wrestlers are used in other places, the whole excuse of that is, Micah. People will say, "Well, it's because when the other wrestler does it, it's more impactful." But that's why they can't win matches with the signature move that they use. But that's the same reason that people use the DDT, and Jake Roberts could finish matches with the DDT.
Yeah, he perfected it.
He perfected it. Yeah, he's the master of the move. What does it matter? Who cares? It's a wrestling move. Get over it.
And not only that, it's different if Jade starts busting it out every week like Seth does with that superplex into the Falcon Arrow. But it's freaking WrestleMania. Let her hit a big move.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought the match was good. Like I said, one of the best of the weekend. I thought the finishing sequence was also excellent when she reversed the Jaded into the
That was
Riptide.
clean. That was super clean. I'm sick of Io Sky though, man. She can stay. Get her out of here. I don't want that. I'm so sick of Io and Rhea, man. I don't. That's probably one of the reasons I've lost a lot of interest in Rhea over the last couple months.
What's your beef with Io?
I just the way she acts in the ring, man. I just can't get behind. I don't know if everybody else likes the immature overacting that she does in her promos, but that's not for me. I'm sure there's a big subsection that like that type of stuff, but that is a big just a channel changer, a fast forwarder. I don't like that. And it just seems like Rhea's been she's been tied to Io for like 2 years now. Jesus. And you know what? I thought it was over, Mike, at WrestleMania. Okay, all right, it's done. Then I see Io and Rhea teaming the next night on Monday Night Raw. Like it's not over. It'll never be over.
It'll never be over. Once again, pal, you're skipping through the show. They said after that Rhea was going to SmackDown, so her and
Is
Io
that
said
official?
goodbye to
You
each
promise?
other.
Or you promise?
They did. They had a very heartfelt, almost HLA segment in the back where
Hey,
they told each
should I go
other.
back and watch this?
No, but they told each other that that they won't be apart forever or what. It was like overly gross.
Well, all right, that's just all right. I can just go on back to watching Rhea Ripley segments now, huh?
Yes, correct.
All right. Okay, all right. I'm listening to you. If I
Okay.
see Io with her one more time,
We're gonna have a problem.
I'm invoking the fast forward rule, Mike.
But yeah, I thought great match, great way to pick the fans back up to, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. Once again, man, y'all gotta chill out on the Jade slander.
Yeah,
Once again,
it's gotten way overblown. Rhea, new champ though, by the way.
yes, and our stocks are paying off. Our Jade stocks are paying off, but
A lot of Jade's catalog in WWE's been really good, man. She's had some good matches.
that's what I'm saying. She's progressing. She's new to this. Like people have no patience, and I get it because they're on national television. And like, trust me,
You know,
we are the first ones to be critical because that's, oh my God, I've got the subsection of internet Cheeto dust boys. Actually, Anya Rune is in Evolve, and this is her first promo, brother. It still stinks.
it's you know how a lot of these women's wrestling fans, how they get with the women's wrestlers. They get a lot of unnecessary heat that a lot of the male wrestlers do not get. And I hate to do this, man, but it's the reality of the situation. The race aspect of it too. I don't know what it is, but it makes a lot of wrestling fans uncomfortable. And yeah, that's Jade is like public enemy number one to a lot of these wrestling spaces, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah. No, it 100% is a race thing with Jade because they'll be like, and it's the same with
And
Bianca because they'll be like, I
yeah,
don't like the way that she acts. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she's just being like a heel, arrogant person. Yeah, but I just don't like that.
I can't relate to that. I can't put my finger on it. I just can't
Yeah.
relate to
Okay. All right. Yeah. You're telling on yourself. You just don't want to say, or it's the same, like they don't realize it, but when they say, well, what if we put these guys in the hurt business? We make that joke here on the pod, but like subconsciously, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
there's
get it.
definitely an element out there with Jade, but And man, I've been a Jade supporter day one all the way back in AEW. So my stocks are paying off.
Yeah.
But speaking of stock paying off, for
Whoa.
the World Heavyweight
Whoa.
Championship.
No, pause that. Run it back. You're skipping a segment, pal.
Oh crap! I didn't write
We're
anything
talking
down for
about it.
this.
We're talking about it. John Cena's out for his second night in a row to tell the fans goodbye, Micah. And then The Miz and your favorite and a lot of people's favorite, Kit Wilson, comes out there with Miz, and they confront John Cena and tell him about how he's being toxic. And Miz reminded him that Miz beat John Cena at WrestleMania. And then all of a sudden, Micah, Danhausen appears. And for a second, Micah, I thought Darby Allin was with Danhausen. He had a bunch of little people painted up. They were accompanying Danhausen to the ring. And Danhausen confronts John Cena, Kit Wilson, and The Miz, along with the AEW roster, painted up. And yeah, it felt a little Vince coded here. Micah, I don't know how you felt. Yeah, I don't know how you felt about this segment, but let me get your thoughts on Danhausen and John Cena, The Miz, and Kit Wilson, whatever the heck that was right there, Micah.
First off, we gotta have a little PR training for Mr. Cole once again, because
Oh God, the
he
midgets,
was,
and I'm allowed
yeah,
to say that.
like I don't understand. Like, we gotta know where we're at, man. This is WrestleMania. I understand that's what they call it, like in a term, like they literally call it midget wrestling. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying that's what they call it.
And that's going
So
back to the Carney days. There's always been midget wrestling, even going back to the first WrestleMania, bro. WrestleMania 3 had midget wrestling on the card, so
yeah,
not a new thing. But yeah, Cole just
but
saying that. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
just dropping it in the middle. I was like,
Yeah,
and I know, again, I know people are gonna think we're just being like the PR police over here, but there's, I don't even want to say there's a time and a place. I'm just saying, like, you gotta know. All right, this segment is on the run card. There's one word I should not say during this.
the midgets.
Yeah, just immediately like buzzword. That was all he could
It
think
just,
of.
and you know what? It seemed more fake because, oh, so you knew this was gonna happen, Michael? Why didn't you warn everybody? Like, you
Yeah.
knew these guys were hanging out. You knew the AEW roster was hanging out backstage. You didn't say nothing. Did you think that was Darby Allin? Be honest. I was like, man, Darby done made the jump. Shout out him. Don't act like you didn't think that was the case, Micah.
Well, at first I thought Danhausen
Darby.
looked really short, and I was like, I said, "Oh, I see what they're doing." You know what, man? Not my cup of tea. Felt very
Was that
Vince.
the actual? Was that the promotion they have? You know the midget promotion they have that goes around. They got a TV show. Was that those guys?
Oh, are you talking about? Is it like micro wrestling or something
I
like
think it
that?
was, yeah, because they had one of the micro jabronis on during that Dom Cena feud. They brought him out. So I think that might have been some of those guys. Maybe the AEW roster. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. You know what? Again, not the segment for me, right? However, uh shout out those
Yeah.
guys for getting a payday.
Cena looked like he was having a blast too.
He
Cena looked like
did.
he actually looked legitimately so happy in the ring with Danhausen. And you know what? Kids, follow your dreams, never give up. Because Danhausen, from the outhouse to the penthouse, he was in Guantanamo Bay for 3 years. No sign of life. and then all of a sudden he debuts in one of the worst debuts in the history of WWE. And 2 months later, he has a blimp, and he has an in-ring segment with John Cena where he's dropping the 5 knuckle shuffle along with the micro roster. So
What
shout
a
out him.
turnaround.
What a turnaround. Anything can happen in WWE.
Yeah, in the Fed. Well, for the World Heavyweight Championship, we've got Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. So much to unpack here, but I don't want to spoil my full thoughts. I'll just say this, right? I had a good mutual friend of ours text me during this Roman entrance and said, he got the OG theme and the gold glove on. He is not losing. And I tried to cope and tell him no, that was not true. And I was wrong.
Yeah.
But what an entrance to start us off for both guys. Roman gets kind of the callback to 39. I thought that was excellent. I love the old theme, though the new theme gets a lot of hate, but I like the old theme as well. The Punk entrance, man, this was the pinnacle. This is everything he's ever wanted. We got it last year, but like this is the undeniable. It's the singles match. It's for the world championship against the guy. You know, this was also the feud in AEW where Roman was the needle mover and Punk was, you know, the AEW needle mover. So that all kind of fully culminated here. Punk, the Miseria Cantere by AFI, intro, the walkthrough, the
Well, hold
jacket,
up now.
the whole
Give me
nine.
my flowers now. I called that.
You did call that.
I
We
did
do
say,
predictions here and
we
spoilers.
did. We did. Whoever cut together that intro package for CM Punk deserves a raise because that was some great stuff. I I think they filmed all that on site too. They didn't use the AI stuff that a lot of TKO does in the UFC. They actually filmed all that, and they had like the old pictures of CM Punk throughout the years, and they cut back and forth to CM Punk walking in the backstage area, and you could tell, man, looking on his face, he was having like he couldn't hold back his smile during the entrance. He had to turn away from the camera,
Yeah.
and he had the custom made jacket with all the former WWE crew members on it, and I believe a Harley Race signature or his name on it as well. And right there on his heart, Micah, little old Larry. Out of all the people he's met along his journey, it's crazy that his dog is right there on his heart. And just a little tear jerker moment. If you got a furry friend out there, hug him tight. But yeah, man, it great all time entrances from both guys. And I don't know if we're gonna break it down move by move, but I'll give the baton back to you, Micah, and maybe you can get some kind of semblance to what happened in this 5-star classic.
Well, I gotta throw a mention too. I think the name on his right, I guess breast would be. I think it was Bo Looters. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. But I think that's his friend that passed just at the start of this month, as well. So bringing him out there with him too. That was just like you said, man. The whole thing is just a tearjerker moment,
And then
and
they at the end of the old theme he had, it was just silence, and he walked out into the crowd. They were screaming CM Punk, and you just get that shot of like the sea of humanity in front of him, and you get that behind the back shot, and he does it's clobbering time, and then the official cult personality starts. That was some great stuff, man. All time great entrance by CM Punk.
yeah, literally the minute that Roman's entrance starts to the close of WrestleMania was just amazing. Literally not a thing I would change. I would also like to, before we get into the action, just like to say that at the end of the day, I see a lot of the AEW hate still come up and how that turned out. But ultimately, CM Punk, I'm not going to say at one point in time he was not, but CM Punk is just not an AEW guy. And I've come to that realization. Now, I think he had some excellent moments there, but I don't think that CM Punk really wanted WWE to fail. I just think he wanted WWE to be better because that's what he grew up on. That's what he made his name in. And that's what he ultimately wanted to be at the end of the day was the guy that main evented WrestleMania. The guy that was on the posters and the ice cream bar, all that he said, you know what I mean? So you got to be happy for the guy all these years later after everything that he's been
Yeah,
through, all the dirt thrown on his name. I don't care what side you have your allegiance for. The guy got his dream.
he
That's
did, and all the people that know the story of what happened with CM Punk over the last 20 plus years, he may have lost the match, but he won. He won as soon as he made that entrance. He won. You could
yeah,
just see it on his face. That's
happiest
all he
man
ever
on
wanted.
earth.
Yeah, that's all. And you could tell during the match that he poured every single thing into this match. And you know what? He was angry that they didn't give him the main event in 2012, and they gave it to Dwayne and John Cena. And it took him 14 years to finally get that main event. And he showed them that you should have put me in the main event in 2012, pal.
Yeah.
Only
At
CM Punk can do that
47.
at 47 years old. Yeah.
Just a couple moves as we get into the match. Roman did the ooh chant that was reversed into the running knee that CM Punk does. I thought that's a great spot because I love Roman, and it is a good moment when he yells it in the open stadium because everybody does it. But to see somebody kind of take advantage of that, I thought was excellent. Now, one gripe I do have, but I won't weigh the match down because of it, is Roman utilizing the stairs
Yeah.
because that's always been a DQ. And I get what they're saying. The ref's going to let it pass because it's the WrestleMania main event. But then, well, everybody's just going to cheat in the WrestleMania main event. I didn't feel like that was necessarily needed.
I get what story they were trying to tell here, though. Because I think Punk brought up in the feud that Roman gets to do whatever he wants because of who he is, and in the match, I mean, he got to use the steel steps, and that kind of solidifies what Punk said. I can see what story they were trying to tell here.
I guess that is a good point. I didn't necessarily think about that. But also, to that same token, what a great worker, man. Punk hangs himself upside down. Roman does the Superman punches, obviously. Uh, all the blood rushes to his head because it's hanging upside down. And then right after that, he gets color. So now we got the Crimson Mask because all the blood's ran to his head. It's the little stuff with Punk, man. Like, I know I kind of got aggravated a couple weeks ago because I'm like, man, why do people microanalyze every single thing that he does? But Punk is such a fascinating wrestler because you can micro-analyze everything that he does.
He makes everything he does in the ring mean something.
Yeah.
There's no wasted motion in CM Punk matches, and he may not be able to move like he used to, but man, I'll tell you, there is. I don't even know if I can put Shawn Michaels' second run above CM Punk's second run in wrestling, just with the promos and the matches he's had. I think it's up there, man. I would have to, when it's all said and done, I think it's gonna be number one as far as comeback in wrestling. I think CM Punk's is gonna be up there as the best.
I'll let it lay when we get there and analyze it. That I think that would be a fun episode to do here on the pod. However, that'll be a sad episode whenever it is all said and done for Punk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, at 47 to go out and have this match, a couple other things. Uh, a great false finish with the spear in or he hit the spear after Punk hit the GTS. Or no, I'm sorry. I wrote that wrong. Whenever Roman hit the GTS or went for it, but then Punk reversed it into the spear. I thought that was a great false finish. There were a lot of great deep into the match at this point. There were great reversal sequences with the submissions. You know, Roman would get that guillotine, but then Punk reversed it into the Anaconda Vice. And then we got to the guillotine again, and they had an overhead camera. I thought the shot was beautiful because it showed two guys that were really giving it their all. Like, I think stepping away from this match and looking at all WrestleMania main events, this has to be the best since probably 25. No, I'm sorry. Because 25 didn't main event.
Think it's the best since 26.
I might put it over 26, but
I
I'd have
think
to
I
watch
would too.
26.
I think I would put it over 26. I think I would put it over 24. That was Edge and Taker. 23 had Cena and Shawn. I would put it over that. 22 had Cena and Triple H. I put it over. You know what? Maybe since 20 with Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, this is up there. Like this is no. I know we're sometimes prisoner of the moments here on the pod, but we cannot say any more good stuff about this match. If you have not seen any matches from WrestleMania weekend, or if you just haven't watched wrestling in a while, because I know some listeners out there, they just want to hear us talk about it. Go out there and watch this match. The story that they told here was masterful. And I know we've been praising CM Punk a lot on this in the segment, but shout out Roman Reigns. Watch his big matches, Micah. Watch his kickouts. He has the best kickouts in the entire business. Because I don't want to spoil it for a lot of people that watch wrestling, but 90% of the time when somebody's going to kick out, they're going to be looking at the referee. And you can tell it's going to be a kick out. Roman doesn't do that. And he times it like it's a 2.9 every single time. So you don't know when the end of the match is going to happen. That's how you should teach kickouts. He does it. I don't know why this isn't taught more, but like, yeah, shout out Roman, man. He has the best kickouts in the whole entire business.
I think, like you said, we glaze Punk a lot, but a lot of this goes on Roman as well, obviously, because Roman shows up for the big moments, and that's kind of what's so frustrating about him is because you want these big moments all the time, but he doesn't give it to you. And apparently he's going to be here all summer. But yeah, I think this is Roman's best match of all time.
1-on-1, I would agree. I think so. Yeah, just because of the story they told, man, they didn't do a lot of the Canadian destroyers or the moonsaults or the nobody got dropped on their head, but the story that they told was simple. CM Punk was the driver of this match. Pretty much, he controlled most of the match, and in the end, the car just ran out of gas. And I said CM Punk was right about Roman in the build-up. Well, Roman was right about Punk because in the end, it was just he was too old, man. The car broke down.
Yeah. And what a masterful story to tell, right? Not that, along with the fact that he tried to beat Roman like he beat Seth, and he beat Dean or Moxley.
He did, yeah. All the same.
Also,
He did it the same way too, with the double GTS spot where the Shield members fell on the ropes and then they fall on CM Punk's shoulder and he hits them with a double GTS. He got the win over Seth like that, and he got the win over Moxley like that. But when it was time to do it to Roman, the guy that he didn't want to make strong in that famous Colt Cabana podcast, in the end, he made Roman look strong. And that's just poetic right there, man.
like you said, 5-star classic. There
Maybe
is
6. Was it in Tokyo Dome?
if I did such a thing as give out 6 stars, this would be there. But I'm not. I keep to my 5s, and my 5s are a very high bar to reach. I got a lot of 4.5s. But yeah, man, it's hard to say because I also think that 40 is great. I think the 40 main event is wonderful, but there's something about this one. I don't know. Like, it's just, I think Punk to me is a great litmus test because there's a lot of fans out there that don't like him and they think he's slow and they think that what he does is not effective anymore. But man, if you really pay attention, like there was a moment Punk got desperate and headbutted Roman, right? And then he sold it worse than Roman did because Roman is Samoan and you can't headbutt a Samoan.
Yeah.
Like that's the little stuff about Punk, man. Man, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I cannot put enough praise on this match. I'm so happy for the guy. As a fan, in the moment, I was hurt because I wanted Punk to win. But I understand why Roman won. And now knowing that he's going to be here full time, uh, that that made me feel better about it. It made me feel better about it that they had a great match. And it also made me feel better about it that Punk was on Raw the next night. So, by all intents and purposes, there's not a thing I would change. Um, I've been meaning to watch this back before we did the podcast again, but I am making a point to watch it again this week.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't say enough good things about this match, man. Yeah, CM Punk still enjoy CM Punk while he's here because he is undoubtedly one of the greatest to ever do it, and he still has a heel run in him. I know it's there. I want to see it. I
Yeah,
don't know if the fans will let us see it because it's gonna be hard to boo that man. But
he can do
yeah,
it.
just he can do it. Just enjoy him while he's here. Not gonna be here much longer. And yeah, man, shout out to these guys. This was the biggest stage to have the best match of the year is rare, and they did it. And it's gonna be hard to top this for the rest of the year as far as match of the year.
Now, let me ask you something real quick, Ryan, and then we can pitch to our final ratings and everything. Where does this go on the lexicon or catalog of best CM Punk matches? Would you I'll just do an over under. Is it over under Cena Money in the Bank 2011?
I think it's 1A, 1B. I really do. Because just the story of the match, the story that they told, and the fact that CM Punk's story that you I mean, I've been watching this guy for 20 plus years, and it meant something to have him finally see him in that main event and to give it everything he had. I don't think it gets any bigger than that. So I would anything it'd be a tie. I can't put one over the other, 1A, 1B.
Just for clarification's sake, when we made our list on TikTok, we had number 2 between Punk and Drew at Bad Blood. Would you put this over that?
Yeah, yeah, easily.
Okay.
Easily.
I agree with you, and I think it's funny that we agree, but it's
I don't think the program was as good as Drew and CM Punk.
no, but I think like you said, the Cena Punk match and the Roman Punk match are also moments that are so integral to like CM Punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The Money in the Bank is his first world title, and ultimately that whole thing leads to this WrestleMania right here. Because by the
yeah,
time it was the end of the WWE Championship reign, we had the birth of the Shield and all that.
that's
So
true. Yeah,
these moments meaning so much to CM Punk is just crazy. I'd love to watch them both back to back or back, against each other and see which one I prefer. But yeah, what a match, what a night of WrestleMania, Ryan. We'll go to our official ratings. We're gonna do these separately. I think that's only fair. But for WrestleMania night one, what would you rate it, and what is your best match?
night one, I probably give it a 4. It was a 4, and the best match of the night was easily Gunther and Seth. And he said the worst match too.
No, just best match for
Oh, okay,
me.
yeah, I give it about 4.
I'm gonna go dud. I don't hand those
Wow.
out, but I don't hand them out often. But there was not a single thing on this that I really liked or will ever go back and watch. Maybe else, but see, even Gunther Seth, like I thought it was good, but I don't know that I'll ever go back and watch it because the ending, like the Page thing was solid, but that was it.
Yeah, Page moment and Gunther and Seth had a pretty good match. That's about it.
Yeah. Now, as far as night two goes, Ryan, match of the night, obviously, I know that's going to be Roman and Punk because we just glazed it for about 15 to 20 minutes. But what would you give out an official rating for night two of WrestleMania 42?
I'm gonna go for man. I'm gonna go 8.8 here. I think the main event. I liked everything on that show. Maybe besides the Danhausen Cena stuff, that was kind of a waste of time. The ads, yeah, that's a given though. I'm trying to think about what did I not like about that show? It was a all time show, especially with the main event. What was the opening? Oh yeah, Open Brock. I love that too. Second
Yeah.
match was
The ladder
that the
match.
ladder match? That was great. I think the Sammy and Trick match was short, but it wasn't bad.
Good moment.
Yeah, good moment. So yeah, I like pretty much everything on that show. And the main event was, all time. So I'm rating this show at 8.8. I thought it was some great stuff. Felt like
Yeah,
WrestleMania. Felt like WrestleMania that.
I'm gonna go 8.5 or 8.5 for
Okay.
those of you that struggle with fractions. I think that there is very rarely going to be a show throughout the year, throughout our years of doing this, actually, that gets as high as this. Oba and Brock is a 5-star match to me. I know that sounds crazy, but once again, if there's nothing I would change and it did its purpose, I think that means 5 stars. So, I would put that up there. Obviously, the main event, Jade and Rhea, great match. The ladder match, great match. Trick, great moment. The only lull spot was Finn and Dom, and it was just okay. It wasn't bad by any means, but you're gonna have those. The Danhausen segment hurts a little bit. The ads hurt a little bit, but like you said, some of that's a given. Um, I think if maybe we swap out Finn and Dom for Gunther Seth. We get a 9 to 9.5 and drop the Danhausen segment for Bianca. I think that right there is a great card that would have meant the world. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's going to be really hard to top the match between Roman and Punk, and it's going to be really hard to top the pay per view or PLE. But Ryan, we're going a little long here. We had the Raw after WrestleMania. Uh, just a couple quick hitters. We had the debuting Ethan Page to the main roster. Do you have any quick thoughts about that?
I've been a big fan of his for a while now. He's gonna get over. Very charismatic guy. The match he had with Javon didn't overstay his welcome. It was more of an angle than a match, honestly. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do on the main roster.
And we also had a debut for the ladies. We had Sol Ruka debuting. Got an immediate match with Liv Morgan. We talked about Sol last year, I think, because of the Evolution match. I believe she had with Bailey, or maybe that was at Saturday night's main event. I don't 100% remember. But what do you think about the Sol Ruka call up? Is it time? And what do you think for her future?
I don't think she has a long future in this business, unfortunately. The way she wrestled, man, it's a ticking time bomb. And I don't know if you caught on NXT, she took a nasty, nasty table bump the night after she made her debut on Raw. So I think her style just doesn't translate well to a long term success story in the business. So shout out her. I know a lot of fans like her. She can do a lot of cool flips. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think she's really cool. I think she's going to be a big star on the main roster. The only thing, like you said, is just that style is a little tricky. I think you got a guy like Seth Rollins to look at and kind of draw inspiration from in that regard, or and maybe not inspiration, but maybe a what not to do. So
Yeah, beware, piece.
yeah,
she's
so
already she's already had leg injuries in the PC, so it's gonna be a uphill battle, man, for her to
yeah,
keep on doing that cool flippy style, the AEW coded, as the sickos online say. It's gonna be tough, man. I shout out her. I'm not wishing her any injuries, but yeah, that style is just not. That's not a long term success plan if you want to be a top star for a long period of time. But maybe that's probably not what she wants to do. Maybe she just want to get in 5 years and get out of the business. I don't know.
well, we'll see. I thought it was a good way to debut her against Liv Morgan. Obviously, it shows they treat her like a star. We had a short promo segment between. Well, I say short, but we're gonna make it short. We had a promo segment between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes here. Punk says he's experienced a lot of loss, but he's going to be here throughout the weeks because he's going to stay ready because that's always been beneficial for him. We had Cody come out. They kind of had a little jab back and forth. But Punk made some glares at the title and said he's going to stay ready. Ryan, you think it's a glimpse into our main event of WrestleMania next year?
Definitely so. They sowed the seeds right there. If not Punk and Cody, I still got my hopes out there for Dwayne Johnson to make a comeback. But yeah, man, it's insane the way the crowd treats Cody. The hardcore fans that come to WrestleMania, they boo Cody out the building. But when CM Punk's music hit, he's universally cheered. Both baby faces, but entirely two different sides of the coin there.
Yeah. I think it'll be very interesting. Interesting too. I think Punk could really pull some good stuff out of Cody, which I think Cody's a good storyteller. He just hasn't had anything to sink his teeth into because I mean, we got freaking Travis Scott and Pat McAfee weighing it down. But for the main event segment of Raw, we had the Tribal Chief coming out, kind of the coronation. He's got the Bloodline back with him somewhat, maybe unofficially, but the Usos came out with him. He said they need to rejoin and be better linked together as a family like they used to be. He didn't apologize. But we get Jacob Fatu interrupting the Samoan werewolf, and it looks like the match at Backlash is going to be Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. Ryan, did you expect that this soon? Do you think it'll be a quick hitter? Maybe some more bloodline involvement? How'd you feel about it?
Oh no, I hope not. Bloodline involvement. Yeah, it's just a kind of a shame that Jay, gets over as a main event star, and now he's back to being Roman's little buddy. Uh, yeah, it's the bloodline stuff has run out of steam, man. I think Jacob Fatu cut a hell of a promo, probably his best promo in WWE. And I'm excited to see the match. I'm excited to see the build up. I'm not excited to see the Usos with Roman again. I think that's been there, done that. That's passe. But we'll see how they handle this. Maybe it's just like a turn coming here with the Usos turning on Roman. I don't know, but I'll give it a chance. I'll keep on watching. And yeah, it was a kind of underwhelming night after WrestleMania Raw. But for just a regular Raw, if we didn't include that caveat, it would probably be a pretty good show, pretty good episode of Raw. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's the way I felt about it. Like, it wasn't, there was nothing just, oh my God, crazy. But for your
It
typical
wasn't a,
episode of Raw,
yeah, it wasn't a big angle that was shot on the episode.
yeah. And
It was just
considering the past few years under Triple H, those Raw after WrestleManias are usually not very loaded.
yeah, and the crowd just wasn't. They didn't have the European travelers, to sing and chant at everything. So it was kind of like a tepid crowd, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for stopping in and listening to ScoopMania Vegas Part 2. It's been a busy couple weeks for us. We appreciate all the love on all the social medias. A huge outpouring recently, just likes and fans and comments. And I've been seeing a lot more subscribers across the board. So we thank you all. It is the busiest season for us. So with that being said, we're detoxing for a week. You will not hear from us next week. I respectfully don't really want to watch any wrestling for about a week, considering I think we tallied it up and have consumed about 25 to 30 hours in under a week. So yeah, I hope you understand. Thanks for everything, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Don't come back next week, but make sure you're here the next week for us to get right back on schedule with our weekly reviews. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.